Hey folks, hopefully you watched video 1 in this series, how to draw Pinhead. Today we're going to be doing Chucky, how to draw him from a photo reference in an American traditional style. It's going to be about making sure that we take a design that is off of a human face, right? And making sure that the details don't get lost. And while we're going to be using thicker line work, taking a lot of lines out, taking a lot of detail out, how we can still use photo references to make really awesome American traditional designs where we don't lose the core elements of specific characters. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'm Clay, the Techie Tattooer. Let's just get to the iPad. All right, folks, so here we are with, literally I just looked this up. It was from Wiki Fandom. Yeah, so it's just a classic Chucky pose. I think it might be from like one of the movie promo posters or something like that again, where we're really making sure we're just keeping these designs super simple and classic. I am not trying to reinvent any wheels here at all or necessarily make the most dynamic pieces or the most unique pieces, because this is going to be all about, or this is all about, just the techniques themselves and how we're going to keep our Chucky true to his character while simplifying him down to make a nice American traditional tattoo. So taking that layer, drop the opacity down to 17%. I'm on a new layer, making sure I'm on my calligraphy pen, using the monoline. Should still be at, yep, I'm at 10% again. And yeah, we're just going to start making choices here, folks. So let's see here. Yep, I'm going to want the tattoo is going to be about yay big, right? So this arm won't be in it. We got to have the knife in it, a little bit of the overalls, that kind of stuff. So just to kind of show that's basically what we're going here for our frame. And yeah, let's go ahead and start with the face. Why not? So even though this light is in here and we're not able to see the edge of his head, we're still just going to start there. Make sure we get that eyebrow ridge in. Get that cheek in there. And we're going to ignore that ear that was back behind there that you could barely see. We're going to go ahead and say, nope, he doesn't have an ear back there. That's not happening. Yep, and notice how I'm taking the line down through his double chin. That's because we're actually going to draw his little chin lump up above this lower line here. Right, so he's got that, and then we're going to actually give him a chin like this. We could even put the butt in there. We'll see if we want to leave the butt in. But he's got it. Got a cute little butt face, don't he? Oh, yeah. All right, and then let's see here. Man, he's got some funky ass little nostrils, don't he? So let's see. We're going to take this and the top of his cute little button nose, and then instead of doing the pure circles that he's got for nostrils, I'm going to make his nostril a little bit smaller and give it one of these. I believe. Nope, we don't have the space to do that. So we're just going to give him two cute little nostrils. Does this come down like that or maybe? Nope, there's not room for those. So we're just going to give him two little nostrils like that. I'm going to go out on this darker portion there. probably end up, we'll see about that. That nostril wants to be smaller than this nostril because his head's turned to a 3/4 view. And we want to fake that perspective a little bit. I guess that is kind of, yeah, we'll leave that there. He's got those 2 teeth in the middle. Those are really the important teeth. And then let's see. I'm going to go for his eyes next. I'll go for the top part of the eye. And we'll go for the top part of the eye again, ignoring the lid, even though he does have lids on the doll face. Yep. Give him his little cheeks. And then up to there. I don't really like how swoopy that is, so we're going to go from here. See, I don't like how uneven that line is on his face there, even though that's very close to how he actually is. I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. Bring this a little bit higher. Yep, I like that just a little bit better there, folks. Get rid of this lump. You may even get rid of this lump. I mean, we're going to, but we might need to bring it back. Yeah, exactly. We need to bring that back a little bit so that then we can grab that shape of his nose and possibly even bring that in like that. Bring this down like that. Nope, we're going to leave those out. Yep. Give him his little freaky look down at you eyeballs. I'll make the same amount of space there. Notice how I'm making his irises just a little bit bigger than they actually are so that we have room, or rather, yeah, to put in his pupils. His pupils are going to be straight in the middle there, straight in the middle there. Yeah, I don't like how the pupils are different sizes. And the reason they're different sizes is because one's coming from the other side of his cheek, and so it's in this lower part. And so we've got more room down there. And so I'm going to actually make this eye just a little bit bigger than it should be. I'm going to make this eye a little bit bigger than it should be. Exactly. Make the iris a little bit bigger than it should be. A little bit slightly different position than it should be. There we are. And then straight in the middle down at the bottom. Straight in the middle down at the bottom. Yep, I like that better. make this mouth just a little bit bigger than it actually is. Keep the right shapes, but we're going to move them around a smidge. Make his sneer a little bit bigger. Yep. Do we add the snot shoot? I don't think we're going to add the snot shoot. And then we're going to keep his teeth. Again, making sure that we're going outside where the white of his teeth actually is, in order to make sure that when we fill this area in black, the teeth don't get too small. Yep, I do like how that's working out so far. I have to call that good. Nope, we don't want the bulldog jowls in there. Put his neck in. We'll make it a little bit not so straight, right? We're going to add that little bit more of a curve to it. Move down to his overalls and shirt. Boink. We're going to start this a little bit further up here. Yeah, right, and make sure he's got that little bit of a lip to kind of flow around there. Make this overall wider, just because we're going to need to do that in order to get coloring in there, right? Okay, so the way that actually works is this piece comes over. We're gonna make it a little bit wider like that. And then put the button here. So we've got plenty of space for the button. We want to make sure the button angle, right, comes along this shape here. Maybe that's a little bit too big because we only need a little bit of differentiator. Yep. Then the same kind of thing here. Actually, we're going to go even bigger. And then get rid of this. And put the other button in. No, we're not. We're going to get rid of that completely and leave that button out. Yep, I think I like how that's going there. We will give him his little arm. So let's see, we're going to come off of this. Yep. We're going to come off of this. Show a little bit of a clothing lump there. A little bit of a clothing fold there because we're going to come along this way and give that forearm that kind of bicep thing going. And we don't want it to come in quite as much because I didn't like how that looked. It made his arm look a little flat. There we go. I'm gonna add this. Yep. That's pretty good. We'll get this shoulder. Yep, and again, while that's not realistically lining up with what he's actually doing, I like that just a little bit better for the angle on that. There we are. Let's get this knife in. Gonna make the blade a little bit smaller. So we're gonna start a new layer. Give ourselves a little bit more space. And the blade is going to be a little bit longer because I want it to break out of the frame that we're going to make for him. Yep. Yep. Go. All right, I like that there, but then because his hand's so kind of small and weird, I'm actually going to make some slightly different choices about like the thumb. right? So that we can see it better. So the thumb's going to be bigger and it's going to come out like that. Yep. We want to make sure our line doesn't come out of here so that these three lines don't meet. We want it to have a little bit of space there. And then same kind of thing. We're going to want his little bitty fingers to sausage over this and break that line there. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We're going to want his fingers to sausage over that. Good stuff. Get on the new layer to get his hair going. A little bit more dynamic on the hair. Not so straggly and weirdly straight because this is a tattoo. So we're going to go a little bit more swoopy with that shit. All right, how's that right along the sunlight edge? Then we're going to give him a classic American traditional part treatment. Make the hair a little bit more wavy than it would normally be. Not that much more wavy than it would normally be. There we go. Let's get his ear in actually really quick. Now we're making up stuff to make his hair cut off his neckline, or his neck shadow rather, even though that's not actually what we're seeing in real life. This is where we're going to fudge that stuff as an American traditional tattoo. the same thing here. We'll give him a little extra dynamic swoopy swoop. Kind of even that out a little bit more. There we go. Draw some more lines in. Let's see here. So this comes from here. And then right, and this Chucky has some scarry stuff on his face, doesn't he? There we go. We'll just give him that one. That might kind of be it for the line work on this guy. Bring that there so it doesn't look so pinched.
You pull me in, tearing the silence. Hold me closer under the surface. Black fingers tracing my nightmare words. Unbroken, cryptic and unclear. Chasing shadows. You are the secret, still unknown, yet I feel calm.
All right, so I think that is the line work for our Chucky tattoo. And if anybody remembers Taco Bell in the 1980s, you'll understand why I chose this outline border for him. If you don't, Google it, and hopefully the internet doesn't steer you wrong. All right, yeah, we're going to go ahead and smush all this onto one layer, get rid of that. Take this, bring the opacity back up, and then I'm going to, shrink it down, stick it over here maybe. Yeah, why not? That's pretty good. I'll scoosh this guy over a little bit. There we are. Okay, so that is our Chucky outline. Now it's time to start sinking blacks. So go to my airbrush, turn this into the reference layer. Now I'm onto my airbrushing layer. Well, just start with drop-in blacks where I know that it's going to be pure black. Whoops. Yep.
Pull me deeper, wrapped in your cold truth. Walking edges, chasing the ashes. Burning bright, still facing your silence. There's a fire lighting the distance. Night is falling, lost in persistence. We don't speak, but I hear your echo. You're the shadow in every hollow. Fight for nothing, little goth angel. Eyes so heavy, dressed in the shadows. Whispers calling, lost in your echo. Midnight falling, wrapped in the unknown. If I fall now, I'll fall forever. Through the black skies, through every ember. No turning back, I'll risk the ending. In your shadow, I find the meaning. Black fingers tracing my nightmare words. Unbroken, cryptic and unclear. Chasing shadows. You are the secret, still unknown, yet I feel complete. Ink black fingers tracing my nightmare words. Unbroken, cryptic and
That should be
unclear.
good.
Chasing shadows. You are the secret, still unknown.
Now we are on to color.
Ink black fingers tracing my nightmare.
How do we want to do this? You know, I'm just going to try drop in some bright red orange. Oh, I can't just drop it in. Boo! I'm missing too many pieces. That is rude, you guys. I didn't do this outline right. Well, fine. We're going to drop his jeans in first then. Whatever. that's sort of what we see there is that kind of thing, and where you would just do that in, you would keep that line in the line work, but then you would remove it and actually just color around that line for your actual finished piece. Because that's kind of nice. I do kind of like that. Um, yeah, that is kind of nice. All right, we'll leave that like that. That does look good. Now we're going to go to hair or skin tones. We'll go to skin tones. Why not? He's pretty yellow. Would I actually do him an opaque, kind of yellow doll face? Ugh, would I do that? Well, first I would be on the right layer. Would I do that? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't like that idea. Okay, so here's a fun thing. I'm going to use Harmony, and it's going to pick out my 3 totally gross 80s colors for me. Yep. And so perfect. Oh, wait, no, go back to Harmony. Cool, so there I'm on yellow. Dang it. Son of a biscuit. And it looks really, really white, but what I'm going to end up doing is actually taking this and giving it like a super pale kind of color like that. Yep, okay, cool. But I'm not going to use the actual background layer because I always hate that because it makes all my highlights all fucked off. So then new layer. And then we're going to go to that super pale background color. Skadoosh. Oh, I forgot that yellow piece. Boink. And then back to the background layer. This color. I'm going to drop her his face. Drop her his neck. His hands. There we go. Right now you can kind of tell, when he's on skin, he's not going to look absolutely so psychotically white. But yeah, folks, that's our American traditional Chucky tattoo. Hopefully that's interesting to you. Hopefully, I can take this hour and 16-minute video and trim it down into something reasonable. If not, sorry, yet again, I have done way too much. So imagine we'd have like a 3-hour video if I just, oh no, his eyebrows. Sons of biscuits. Whoa. There we go. And then if we really wanted to kind of add that last level of detail, we would give his scar one of those just so that it stands out and you know for a fact it's a scar, right? Okay. There we are. That is our American traditional Chucky design. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the social media stuff, share it if you think this was a fun idea. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love hearing back from you folks, and hopefully you found this useless. Full. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.